everybody, and welcome to the second video on quadratic inequalities. In this video, we have a look at more quadratic inequalities, but just a bit more complicated ones. So we have to factorize a coefficient of x squared as well. So just a reminder, and if you've forgotten, please watch the first video, is that an inequality will end up taking one of the two forms. So the less than form looks like this, and the greater than form looks like that. So let's jump straight into it. If you would like, pause the video now and attempt the questions before we go through the answers together. So the first one is 2x squared plus 5x plus 3 is greater than 0. So just a reminder on how to factorize. We want one side equal to 0. Then we write the coefficients of the first term under each other. So for example, 2x and x give us 2x squared. And then the last term underneath each other. So 3 times 1 gives us 3. Then we cross multiply, that is 3x, and that is 2x. And then we see, how can we get the middle term, which is 5x? So from this one over here, we get 5 by saying plus 3 plus 2 gives us plus 5. So that is the sign that would go there, and then those are our factors. So then this factorizes into 2x plus 3 times x plus 1 is greater than 0. So now we would like to get our critical values. And that's what we do by solving the equation. So we have 2x plus 3 is equal to 0. So 2x is equal to minus 3, and x is then equal to minus 3 over 2. Our other one is x plus 1 is equal to 0, so we get x is equal to negative 1. Now to get the solution for our inequalities, we plot our critical values through a parabola, so that's minus 3 over 2 should be there, and minus 1 should be there. And then what we are looking for is where is it greater than 0. So then that is above the x-axis, so we take this piece over here, and this piece over here. So the inequality corresponds to x being less than negative 3 over 2 and x being greater than negative 1. Okay, so let's have a look at another example. So number 2 is 3x squared plus 4x minus 4 is less than or equal to 0. So again, we're going to write the factors of the first term underneath each other. So we get 3x squared by saying 3x times x, and we get 4. Well, there's two options for 4. Let's try 2 and 2. This is a trial and error method, so sometimes you might end up with the wrong answers, but then you just change your factors until you get the right one. So we've got 2 and 6, and we want a positive 4. So we have plus 6 minus 2 would give us positive 4x, and then we take the sign into the bracket, and then this here, our critical values are the solutions to this. So, okay, maybe I should write our factors. It is 3x minus 2 and x plus 2 that are less than or equal to 0. So we have 3x minus 2 is equal to 0. So 3x is equal to 2 and x is equal to 2 over 3. Or x plus 2 is equal to 0. So x is equal to negative 2. Then what we want to do is plot our critical values. So negative 2 is smaller than 2 over 3. Put a positive parabola through it. And then we are looking for the values where it's less than or equal to 0. Less than or equal is below the line, and it's that interval over there. So it's x being less than or equal to 2 over 3, and less than and equal to greater than equal to minus 2. And look, this dictates the signs that we have there in the original question. So let's have a look at the next one. We have 2x squared plus x is less than 6. So we want to get everything over to one side so that we can factorize. And then we're going to, oops, I didn't actually take anything over. So it should be minus 6. It changes sign when we take it over. And then what we're going to do is factorize. So I'm going to do it here. 2x and x is the factors of 2x squared. And I'm going to try 3 times 2. So that gives us 3x. That gives us 4x. And we would like to get a positive x. And that is possible if we have positive 4, negative 3. So those signs would go in there. So then our factors are x minus 2x minus 3 and x plus 2. Then we get our critical values. So 2x minus 3 is equal to 0. This question looks so similar. Okay, but it's different. Sorry. And then 2x is equal to 3, which means x is equal to 3 over 2, or x plus 2 is equal to 0, so x is equal to negative 2. We then plot our critical values on a number line. So we have negative 2 and 3 over 2. We put a positive parabola here. Just a reminder, the positive comes from the coefficient of x squared. So because we've been dealing with positive ones, we've been having a positive coefficient there. We are looking where it is less than 0. So again, that is below the line, and we want that interval. And that means that x is between 3 over 2 and negative 2. And again, it's not included to correspond with the sign in the question. For the last one, we have 5x squared plus 9x is greater or equal to negative 4. So if we factorize this, we should get 5x, and you can check you can factorize it and check that to get the same answer. So 5x and x give us 5x, and we get 4 and 1 are factors of 4. Sorry, we were supposed to take everything over to the other side. So this is 5x squared plus 9x plus 4 is that greater or equal to 0. So first we take everything over, then we factorize. So then cross multiply, that's 5x. Cross multiply, that's 4x. How do we get 9? Well, plus and plus give us plus 9x. So then these are our factors, and that sign goes here, so that's a plus. And that sign goes there, so it's a plus. So this factorized is 5x plus 4 times x plus 1 is greater or equal to 0. So then we can get our critical values. And then we get that 5x plus 4 is equal to 0. So 5x is negative 4 and x is negative 4 over 5. And we get x plus 1 is equal to 0. So x is equal to negative 1. The last step is to then get a parabola to calculate our interval. And we have minus 4 over minus 1, and then minus 4 over 5. And we are looking for where it's greater or equal to 0, so that's above. So it's this piece here and this piece here. So this here is x less than or equal to minus 1. This here is x greater or equal to negative 4 over 5. And again, this sign over here comes from the question. So we stay consistent with that. If you are uncertain on how to factorize equations, please watch our previous videos on quadratic equations. And if you are still unsure about solving quadratic inequalities, watch the first video before. So we have this method. There are other methods, and you're more than welcome to use other methods, but this is how we solve quadratic inequalities. We can summarize it into a few steps. So number one, get one side equal to 0. Number 2 is factorize. Number 3 is get the critical values, which is the solution of the factorizing. And number 4 is plot. And the plot is just to help you get the interval. And number 5 is write the solution. So follow those steps and you will always get to the right answers. Often students stop at the critical values, but we need the diagram to help us understand what is the interval that corresponds to that quadratic inequality. Please watch our next video on how to interpret quadratic inequalities.